Akame got killed, episode 6, Kill the Absolute Justice. Now, this episode, I was not expecting to be what it was. When I reviewed the last episode, I actually was looking up some stuff, and the Sheele's death was actually spoiled for me because I was looking up the last episode. And I was looking up stuff because I was trying to find a picture of her, and of course, in Google, auto text came right in, and it was like Sheele death scene, and that was the first thing I saw. So it was spoiled for me. So I was like, oh, that kind of sucks that it was spoiled because I didn't know anyone died. I didn't know what episode it was, so I was just like, it's gonna be in the future. I did not expect it to be the very next episode where it happened, and it was kind of crazy. It was like we get the end of the last episode, and it was like, all right, Seryu has this crazy little dog. I think we all knew it was going to be insane. You could just, it's anime, it's television, honestly. It's this cute little thing. Mentally, anyone could have figured out it was going to be insane. I didn't expect it to be able to just effing regenerate. I didn't expect Seryu to literally go insane and have, also be like, almost have, just have gun. Like, she was just like part guns, just mouth guns. Her arms had guns in them. I don't know what to even remotely think of that or how that works. I guess in some capacity I could figure it out, but it was weird. She had a gun in her mouth. She had guns in her both her arms. It was just insane. Like, it was just a crazy fight. I did not expect her, like I said, to just go insane. You know, the first half of the episode was cool, and we got to see Tatsumi. I think my favorite thing about that was Tatsumi just being in full night raid mode. He wasn't hesitating or anything like that. It was like he went in, he fought with his partner. I can't think of her name right now, but you know, they fought together. She's like tearing people up. I think my favorite thing is the fact that Tatsumi, and this is the thing, it's like him cutting someone, that's one thing, but it's, you know, Akame got killed. He was like, I think he chopped like 5 people in half. And then, of course, he had like the badass line where the one dude was like, you know, I'm not going to die here. And he tried to cut him. And he just dodged and it was like, you got to be faster than that, dick. And he just like split him in half. I was like, that was a badass moment. And it's just like, oh, he just chopped that guy in half too. And it was just an insane moment where they drop in and they just take all these guys out. And it was just like, half, you've been halved. And it was just insane watching that. So that was pretty cool. And then, you know, the Mind and Chill stuff. It had me worried when I first saw them together. I was kind of freaking out. Like, is this really gonna be the episode where she dies? Like the one right after, where she teams up with Tatsumi and stuff like that. And it definitely was. And it really does suck to lose a character so fast. And it kind of makes me want to read the manga because I know in the manga, obviously, it's not nearly as quick. Where it's like, oh, she's dead like that. And it could be, I guess, but I think that would. It's such a huge leap because it was literally the last episode was the introduction. The last, what, 5 minutes maybe of the last episode was like Seryu, and then here's her backstory with the ogre guy. I think it was a captain or something like that, captain or lieutenant ogre, whatever. And then next episode, totally different personality when she finds them and she knows that Sheele is a part of Night Raid, and just facially she's different. Vocally, she was different. Her attitude, it's just like, oh, it's, versus Tatsumi, who she just thought was someone lost. Like, oh, helping citizens and stuff like that. She's got a cute little dog. And then this episode, they gave her like the crazy eyes, and she's just going insane, guns in her, which I hope they explain in the next episode. I'm really looking forward to watching that one tonight. But I don't know. It was weird. It was crazy to watch that and just see this. It wasn't even a transformation. It was just a different character because when she came in, there was no scene where she was like helping other people escape. It was just instantly, it's her and Night Raid, so it was automatically crazy mode for her. And I was like, this is freaking intense. And it was just crazy watching her and this dog, which, like I said, we all knew was going to be crazy. I didn't expect the overdrive thing, and that's something they kind of introduced, or like the trump cards, which I think they did mention before, but I don't know if they really showed them off. So I think they may have mentioned that like once in passing almost, and it was so quick in passing that I didn't even remember it. But I kind of feel like they mentioned that at least one point beforehand. like each thing does have a trump card. I believe they talked about that. So it was kind of cool to see that stuff take place, and we got to see Seryu's dog's trump card, where basically it turns into the ultra mega evil version of Akamaru, because that just popped into my. I can't believe I didn't think of that while watching it. But with him going red, it's kind of like Akamaru in Naruto, which I guess if you've never watched Naruto, you wouldn't know what I mean. But the dog is just like a little puppy, and then he gets this food pill, and basically he goes into like this crazy berserk form that gives him more power, and he does turn red. But it was cool. Him like growing the arms and stuff, like I think she just said expand, or I think she said bulk up. That's what it was. So that was a little crazy, and it's just like boom, he just has arms, and then he's doing like crazy tornado moves when he's like flying towards Sheele, and he's just like he was almost just like a living blender when he was doing that, and he just had all these teeth and stuff. And like I said, I was really hoping that she would live past this episode, because I found out about the death scene, and it was just crazy that it really was the next episode. It was just like, she had her introduction in the last episode, her backstory, and then she's dead in this one. She gets eaten, bit in half. She does save Mind by the end, fortunately, and she uses her trump card to blind people. And and how the way they ended after she gets eaten, it's like Seryu laughing like a maniac, and then the dog just like, it's just Shield's arm just hanging out of the thing, and he's just like munching on it. I was like, this is just really crazy. Like I know the show is just insane, and that's partly why it's so incredibly popular, because it just goes all out, which I knew from the manga. And I was like, well, I know I already knew why it was so insane, but just seeing it, especially when it's main characters, even though it's only been a couple episodes, it still has an effect on you. Like, man, these technically they're the good guys. Like, we know what's going on behind the scenes. We know who really is good and who's bad. And unfortunately, a lot of the people like Seryu, well, I can't say Ogre, because I think they mentioned that he knew some stuff that was going on, but a lot of these people don't know what's really happening behind the scenes. So they are just being used as tools, and they only see Night Raid as the villains. So it's just crazy. It's like, man, we're losing heroes already early on. And I didn't think about the fact that, and they mentioned this at the end, when two Imperial Arms users do collide, one of them has to die, and that's just how it happened in this case. And really, it only did happen because Seryu had the Imperial Arms, and the crazy paralyzing mouth gun bullet thing which paralyzed Sheele, and that's the only reason she lost, because Sheele was super badass. Like, the way she was spinning it around, it was like, it was just someone used basically like having a bow staff, but it was obviously sharp, so she could do a little bit more with it, and it was just really cool watching her do that. And she's like just spinning the thing around, and like, when she sliced Seryu's arms off, I didn't see that one coming. I thought Seryu's gonna dodge this, or something crazy is going to happen, and it definitely did. And she sacrificed her arms because, like I said, I hope we get an explanation for this, she's got guns just in her. So I don't know how that stuff plays out. I don't believe that that's another Imperial Arms. They didn't mention that or anything. It was that she said something like she had them put in, or something like that. I kind of can't remember. I was honestly just blown away. I kept seeing guns in/on her, so it was just weird for me. But I don't believe they said it was a second Imperial Arms for her. It was just a weird customization she has on her body. But it was blood and stuff coming out when her arms got chopped off. So it's really weird. And obviously she was breathing when she had the gun, wherever that thing is, come up in her mouth. So I don't know just all the concepts of that and how it all works, but it was really entertaining. Sucks to lose a character, especially so early on, but this was a really good episode, really insane. Seryu, seeing this other side of her, where this is how she is when she finds Night Raid, because she was really just like typical, I'm gonna get vengeance on them for killing my friend, and then in this she was like effing insane, like I'm gonna destroy. She was almost like, I'm gonna destroy the planet type crazy. So it was very different, very enjoyable though, that's for sure. But it does suck to lose a character. Great action, of course. The ending scene, Death also returns. I'm trying to remember because I watched this a couple days ago, I'm pretty sure she was on like a dragon or something insane like that, which was just like, where did that come from? So there are dragons, and I mean they do have monsters, which it's weird how much lore is in this universe when you think about it. Like how the first episode started with Tatsumi killing like that giant worm thing, and it's like an S class thing, and certain class creatures are used to make the Imperial arms, and that's how they all have their own devices and things like that. And now that I think about it, they definitely mentioned trump cards before, because that's when they talked about the suit of armor letting one guy go invisible. That was his trump card, so I do remember that. But they have all this stuff, and it's like that's not even remotely important. It's like it's Night Raid versus the army. That's what's important here. But this could have totally been a different thing, where it's a fantasy, type show, or it could have been what it started off seemingly as, which is a kid and his friends wanting to join the army and make money to help their village. And now it's just like, remember when that was a concept? Like, it's so different now. But she's coming back. I know, just based on everything they said about her, with her, them thinking it'll take her months to do that, possibly a year, before she defeats the guy, and she beat him by the end of that episode. Now she's back. It should be pretty intense very soon, and I'm sure after this episode, I'm actually pretty sure we're gonna lose a lot more people. So I'm not gonna be typing in anybody's names at all from now on. I'm just gonna type in only episodes. I did that specifically because the focus was on Sheele, and I was like, I want to find a picture of her and Tatsumi, or at least of her, which I didn't do. I ended up going with like the bikini clickbait picture, but it was a nice picture. So I'm gonna be very wary of that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just stay away from it. But I do think we're gonna lose more people now that this has been established really early on. But it was a good episode. Always sad to see a hero go, but just insane to watch. So I'm excited for the next episode. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, I have to ask you guys what you thought about losing a main character. What did you think about losing Sheele after hardly even knowing her? I mean, we saw her backstory last time. We see her personality, how really her only thing is that she slept late, and they have the little silly flashbacks of her where she's not really a good cook and stuff like that in the scene with her and Tatsumi. So we didn't know too much about her. We knew enough. I mean, we knew enough for it to matter, and of course she's a main character and one of the good guys, so whether you know a lot or a little about a character, when you know they're the good guys, that's pretty much all the effect you need. Like, you know this much information, but they're a good guy, and they get wiped out. It has an effect, so I definitely want to know what you guys thought about that. So like I said, please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.